Again, everyone, welcome back to another episode of Tabletop Mercenary, where I do my best to pull back the curtain and talk about how to make a living in tabletop RPGs. I want to apologize before we get started. This is one of my first videos with the new mic setup, and it has been giving me some issues, but hopefully we can get through this one and there's no real problems. But before I jinx myself, let's get into this week's topic, and hopefully I can cover it before it decides to cut out on me. But this has been at the forefront of my mind basically since I got back from the Chicago Steampunk Expo, because it's a piece of old advice that still gets thrown around in the publishing world. And whether you're a novelist or a TTRPG creator, this is something you've probably heard and you want to believe it. We all want to believe this so desperately, and it's just wrong. There may have been a day, once upon a time, where this was good advice. Do not follow this advice today. It will basically just be making yourself a noose. But the advice, and I'm sure you've heard it before, so say it with me if you have, is the best way to sell your current book is to write another book. And we want to believe that, because the idea is that if you wrote one book and it's come out and you've reached everybody who's going to read it, that's absolutely ridiculous because there's astronomical amount of people who buy and read books, but let's just assume that's the idea. You then need to write another book so that people have something new to read. But more importantly, people who read the second book will wonder, well, who is this person who just wrote this book that I enjoyed so much? And then they'll discover your last book, and the book before that, and the book before that. But the reason this is so appealing to us is we want to believe that writing a good book, making a good game, doing something that is objectively, hard work. We put a lot of ourselves into this. We tested it. We made sure that it's smooth. The art is good. It's fun to play. It's fun to read. That should be enough. We are told over and over and over again that if you make a quality product, people will buy it. They will find you. What's the phrase? Build a better mousetrap and the world will beat a path to your doorstep. And we would love to believe that's true, but it's just not. Consider this. You write a novel. Put yourself into it. Maybe it's a really good novel. Maybe there's a lot of fun ideas in it, a lot of concepts. And people who do read it think it's great. But let's say no one other than your immediate friends and family actually picks up a copy. Okay, fair enough. Write another book. Same thing. You sell a handful of copies and then it goes dark. Write another book, and then another book. You're not out there marketing these books. You're not letting people know they exist. You're not doing interviews. You're not on podcasts. You're not doing YouTube previews for the book. You're not talking to anyone about the game. You're not doing live plays. You're not getting yourself out there in front of people's faces, so no one knows it exists. And if no one knows it exists, well, they're not going to buy copies because they don't know that they should be looking for it. And this is the fundamental fallacy. And it's why a lot of us will double down we'll make a game, and maybe that game does all right. Maybe it even gets funded on Kickstarter. Take my game Army Men, for example. Got funded. There was at least a little bit of attention, a little bit of activity. People seemed really excited about it. And game went out. Lots of folks were playing it. Lots of folks had some good opinions about it. It even managed us to keep selling a couple copies of the base book, a couple copies of the supplements I wrote for it. But that's not really enough attention to warrant putting in new editions, new big supplement books. I've talked about it on both episodes of this show as well as on Tactical Plastic Report. I've wanted to do things like Army Men Motor Pool, having rules for vehicles, dogfights, etc. Wanted to do Weird War, where I bring in like strange science experiments and other bizarre monsters and new classes. I've wanted to do Soldiers of Fortune, where you do more of a mercenary game instead of being an official part of one of the armed forces of the setting. But those things take a lot of time, a lot of energy, a lot of page count, and that's something I can't really depend on people funding, buying, selling, etc., etc. The reason that companies and individual creators make new additions to something, whether it's supplements for TTRPG or whether you're doing new novels in a novel series, is because there's an audience out there who wants it. They've let you know, hey, we enjoyed this thing. We would like more now. So you put out some new adventures, you put out some new supplement books, you write another adventure for the protagonist of your novel series to go on. And when you do that, you're enticing a part of your already existing audience to come and buy more, while creating a doorway for new people to come into your fandom. But if you're not actually selling well, if there's not a big enough audience to warrant that effort, while it hurts your heart and it bruises your ego, trust me, I know, you have to put that thing aside until you figured out a way to market it, until you figured out a way to grow that audience, especially if you already have a base game, supplements, setting guides. If you have everything out there that people could want, it's better to market what you have and try to build some momentum with that than to write another one and hope that that one is the one that hits the jackpot, because this is where a lot of us get into the sunk cost fallacy of we think that because we've spent so much time, so much energy, so much effort on this thing, well, now we need to keep going. Otherwise, we've wasted everything we've put into it. And that's when you see gamblers going, well, I need to do one more hand. I need to roll the dice one more time. I need to pull one more slot because I can win it back. And if I don't keep going, then all the money I've lost has been pointless. So it's important to keep that in mind if you're looking to do this professionally, because, well, we can't really afford to do things that no one's interested in, that no one's playing, that no one's reading. And it's frustrating because even though people may beat down your door, they may demand you work on a particular kind of product or expand a certain setting, and then they just don't buy it. And that is a completely separate issue that I hope to deal with in a future episode. But this week, I just wanted to touch on the idea that you should never just keep cranking out books if your goal is to actually make money and to actually make a living. Because when you do that, all you're doing is just spinning your wheels if you don't have an audience to help you grip and go forward. How you do that, well, I'm hoping to cover that in a few future episodes. So stay tuned if you have a game, if you have an idea, but you're not quite sure how to get your marketing done. Because I've got a couple of things that have worked for me and a couple of other creators, and I would like to pass them on to all of you. But between now and then, leave any comments you have down below. Please let me know what you'd like to see in future episodes, any questions you have, any curiosities you're dealing with, or just fun things you'd like to see crop up anywhere on the channel, honestly. Because I read the comments, my publisher reads the comments, and that is the surest way to directly communicate with us. But till next time, it's been your Tabletop Mercenary, signing off. First and foremost, thank you for staying to the end of this episode of Tabletop Mercenary. If there's a question you have about being an RPG creator, please don't hesitate to put it in the comments below so I can address it in a future episode. If you want to help me keep the lights on and keep this show going, then please consider subscribing to the channel, liking the video, and giving it a share on your own social media pages to help boost the signal. Lastly, if you really enjoyed this episode, please consider leaving a tip by buying me a Ko-fi or becoming a Patreon patron at the links in the video description below. You'll find me on both sites under the name The Literary Mercenary.